My wife admitted to nearly cheating on me because of my ED issues. Now she can't keep her hands off me. The tear-jerking story of a former war-hardened Marine, crippled by ED, who refused to battle the paralyzing side effects of expensive pills or gadgets, and created a 3-step ED solution that works regardless of age or how severe your ED is. How my ED nearly killed me, and the simple way to get your manhood back without side effects, expensive pills, or humiliating gadgets. The tear-jerking story of an ex-Marine who would rather chop his own dick off than risk his life taking another blue pill. My heart tore to shreds as she admitted, "I don't want to fantasize about other men, but sometimes I just can't help it." How your wife really feels about your ED issues and what she wishes you knew so you could save your marriage before it's too late. I don't want to fantasize about other men, but sometimes I just can't help it. Her words tore apart my heart and my manhood. She couldn't even look me in the eye as she spoke those hideous words. 18 years of marriage, about to go up in smoke, all because I couldn't get an erection. My name is Ryan M. Bell, and the story you're about to hear is excruciatingly painful to talk about. It's the story of how erectile dysfunction snuck up on me and all but destroyed what I had taken for granted, all in the span of just a few short months. In fact, facing ED was the most painful, embarrassing, and humiliating experience of my life. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. If you're currently experiencing trouble in the bedroom, I urge you to pay close attention to this shocking video presentation, because I've been in your shoes. I know exactly how bad it hurts right now, how it's ripping apart the very fabric of your self-worth as a man, how it's consuming your thoughts, and how it's holding your confidence at gunpoint. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why ED chose you, and more importantly, how to finally get your love life back again. The best part? You can turn the tides without harming yourself or your unit to enjoy erections that are so hard they hurt, and lavish in the best sex you've had in the past 10 years. I'll show you exactly how to do this without expensive, potentially lethal prescription drugs, which only give you soft, mediocre, and unreliable erections, without resorting to weird exercises, embarrassing equipment, or mystery supplements like gas station Viagra with God knows what's inside, and without having to fork over more than $2,000 for testosterone therapies that only work for 5% of the men using them. The fact is, there are 3 primary causes of ED you need to worry about. Unfortunately, most men are taught that blood flow is the only problem and that the solution is a $50 pill. Nothing could be further from the truth. They put men just like you at severe risk for several unhealthy side effects, confirmed by Viagra.com itself, all the way from headaches, diarrhea, and nausea, to chest pain, loss of vision, and even death. But I refuse to let that happen to you. Instead, I'm about to show you exactly how to disguise and fix the underlying erection issue causing so much pain and torment in your life. My mission is for you to enjoy those instantaneous, throbbing, vein-bulging erections you had when you were younger, and give your wife or girlfriend the sex she's been waiting for her whole life. Plus, I want you to know that what I'm about to reveal works no matter how old you are, and regardless if you have full-blown ED or just have a few limp erections here and there. Skeptical? I don't blame you. But everything I'm about to share is all 100% proven and backed up by numerous scientific clinical studies. But first, I need to warn you. Your sexual future and possibly your marriage depends on you watching this video straight through to the end right now. And now that you've committed to putting ED in its place and regain control of your life, just like I did, let me take you to where my story begins. I still remember it like it happened yesterday. My wife and I were at my friend Josh's beginning of summer party he likes to throw each year. As usual, the guys were outside hunkered over the grill and having a few beers. The girls were inside catching up on the latest gossip and finishing up the last few appetizers. After a few beers, I had to pee. As I walked down the hallway, I accidentally overheard my wife talking to her best friend about our sex life. I missed most of the conversation, but what I'd heard was more than enough to bring this Marine to his knees. She said, "We haven't had sex in the past 3 months. Don't get me wrong, I love him, but our physical relationship has become non-existent. I feel criminal saying this, but sometimes I can't stop daydreaming about having sex with another man." My stomach sank. Her words pierced my soul. My wife with another man? The tough guy inside of me wanted to burst out and scream. Anger flooded my body. I wanted to scream and punch a hole in the wall. Then my rage turned into worry. Would she follow through with it? Would she seriously consider another man? Would our situation get to the point where her only option was to sleep with a stranger because I couldn't pleasure her? I felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest and crushed on the floor. Within seconds, all that emotion turned into helplessness. Here I was, a former eat-nails-for-breakfast Marine, and I couldn't do something as simple as please my wife in bed. Back when I was in the Corps, we all thought we were bulletproof. After all, they took a group of fragile boys and turned us into combat-ready men. I still remember walking into those sleazy bars off base wearing my freshly pressed BDUs. It drove the women nuts, and I loved every minute of it. The single ladies would practically drool over us as we walked in. And although I never started a fist fight, a Marine never backs down. Sure, back then we each had our fair share of women problems, but getting hard wasn't one of them. Our bodies were muscled-up war machines, and we could kick just about anyone's ass. But that was 30 years ago. Now it was a different story, and I was in the fight of my life. Over the years, I slowly stopped doing my morning PT push-up routine and let my body go. I started to eat and drink too much, stopped exercising, and started watching too much TV. And over the past few months, I started paying the piper for my bad habits. One night, out of the blue, I got what I would call a soft erection. In fact, that night it deflated halfway through sex, so we had to stop. A few nights later, the same thing happened, but somehow I kept it up just long enough to finish. The entire time, all I could think about was not going limp. But my wife failed to orgasm because I couldn't stimulate her enough. 7 days later, it failed me completely, not even semi-erect. It was the first time something of this magnitude ever happened to me, except for one night a few years ago when I drank a little too much, but I blamed that episode on the alcohol. I was getting nervous, but summed it up as stress and getting old. But then it happened again, and again. At this point, I was panicking. I knew my wife was upset about it. After all, she needs sexual stimulation just as much as I do. But the topic of sex was something I was always too embarrassed to discuss. I knew it was tearing her up inside because each time I would ask her about it, she would put on a fake smile and say something like, "It's okay, Ryan. Maybe we'll try again in a few days." I had no idea it bothered her to the point that she was thinking about sleeping with other men. For the rest of the housewarming party, I put on a happy face and pretended I didn't hear anything. But I could only keep up the charade for so long. On the drive home, my emotions were boiling and my wife knew something was off kilter. After a few short, pissy responses, followed by long bouts of uncomfortable silence, my wife looked at me square in the eye and gingerly asked, "Ryan, are you okay?" At first, I tried blowing it off. But she's my wife. She knows my mood patterns, and she knew I was melting inside. Out of nowhere, I blurted out, "Katie, are you honestly thinking of sleeping with another man?" Her eyes widened. She gasped. The red emptied from her face. I caught her off guard, and she was shocked. "What the hell are you talking about?" she nervously asked. "I overheard your conversation with Jess. You told her about our sexual problems, and I heard you say you've been fantasizing about sleeping with other men because I haven't been able to satisfy you." Her jaw hit the floor. After a few seconds of silence, she spilled her guts and let out everything she's been keeping inside for the past several months. "Ryan, I'm so sorry you had to hear that. I never ever wanted you to find out. First of all, I want you to know that I haven't cheated on you. But honestly, yes, I have thought about it. It hurts me deeply that we haven't been able to physically connect lately. I know you're just as frustrated as I am, and I'm so sorry you're going through this. But this is driving our relationship into the ground. Not only has our physical relationship gone down the tubes, but I've noticed you've been a lot more on edge and short with me lately. I don't know if it's because of this or something else, but you seem to have changed, and I'm worried for us. Look, we've loved each other for a long, long time. I do still love you, but something needs to change because I'm worried I can't take it anymore. I don't want to think about other guys, but I can't help it." I asked her to pull over, and I told her I wanted to walk home to clear my head. As she pulled away, I could feel all those emotions festering up inside me. Fear, rage, worry, depression, sadness, hopelessness. Everything hit me like a freight train, all at once. Here was the love of my life, the woman I promised to take care of for the rest of my life, unsatisfied sexually with our marriage. How was that even possible for an ex-Marine? Even though I knew it wasn't my fault, I knew I'd let her down. Sitting on a bench at a run-down bus station, I did something I thought I'd never do. I broke down and cried. I wept uncontrollably like someone close to me had just died. And something did die. My relationship with my wife. After a few minutes, my old military training began to kick in. Rather than sit and wallow in self-pity, play the victim card, and blame everyone and everything else for my erection problems, I decided to make it my personal mission to figure out what happened and fix it. So I did what most men do when something is wrong. I went to the doctor. I have to admit, calling the doctor to talk about my erections was the hardest conversation I ever had to have. I realize he's a doctor and has heard sexual issues far worse, but still. What I realized is that the act of calling the doctor was me finally admitting I had a problem, and that was something I didn't want to admit. But I wasn't about to let my ego keep me limp, so I booked an appointment. As soon as the doctor walked in, I confessed my problems. He immediately told me what I was going through was very common for men my age. In fact, he said a study done by the University of Wisconsin showed that approximately 50% of men in their 50s and 60% of men in their 60s suffer from at least mild ED. Here I was thinking I was a special case, when unknown to me, my friends were probably dealing with the same thing. At the end of the appointment, he did what 95% of most doctors do. He gave me a prescription for the little blue pill. Not knowing any better, I started taking it. I figured my doctor prescribed it, so it must be safe. For the first week or so, everything went great. My wife and I were back to our old selves. But it was so expensive I knew I couldn't keep it up. I was shelling out roughly $50 per pill. Plus, it's just weird. I mean, here I was paying to have sex with my wife. Something about it made me feel dirty. However, at first I let it slide because I was so happy to be back in the saddle again having sex. But after the first week, the cards came tumbling down. First, it stopped working consistently. One time I would take it and everything would go as planned. The next time, nothing. I was right back with my old friends, embarrassment and humiliation. Not to mention the fact that having to schedule sex takes all of the romance out of it. I'm not sure if you've ever had to plan for sex, but it makes lovemaking monotonous and lackluster. Half the fun of having sex is the excitement, foreplay, and spontaneity. But scheduled sex was better than the emotional roller coaster I'd been going through. So I kept using it for another 2 weeks or so. Then I started getting these weird sensations, like my heart was trying to leap out of my chest. The first time it happened, I thought I was about to die. My entire body turned red, like someone had just painted my skin with tomato juice. I started sweating and became a little dizzy. I thought I was having a heart attack. So I immediately called my doctor, and he told me those side effects are common and I should stop taking it. After a bit of research, I found out that these types of side effects are common. Considering I almost had a heart attack, the hit or miss results, and the fact that I was paying $50 a pop to have sex with my wife, I became determined to figure out how to get hard on my own. In the months that followed, I turned myself into a sex-starved human guinea pig. I spent nearly every night after work, sometimes during work, researching alternative cures for my erection issues. If I'm honest, I became a little obsessed. And who wouldn't? I'd lost my manhood, my pride, the foundation of what it meant to be a man. And I was about to lose my wife. To another man. I was convinced there was a safe, affordable, reliable cure, and I would do anything to find it. After all, if I didn't fix it now, it would only get worse. And the only two other options I could see in front of me were a divorce or a lusty affair, and I just couldn't let that happen. The first few weeks of research were the worst. All I came across were a handful of outlandish and shocking treatments. Among them included vacuum hand pumps, injections, rice-sized suppositories you have to stuff up the tip of your penis, and even a surgically implanted prosthesis that kills your ability to enjoy a natural erection forever. Yikes, no thank you. I also uncovered the truth about the testosterone therapy you hear about on TV and read in magazine ads. It turns out those T-patches and other erection boosters can cause harsh side effects, and depending on which option you take, can cost as much as $395 per month. Tempting, but again, no thank you. And then, of course, you have all the weird penis gym exercise routines. I don't know about you, but the thought of permanent damage to my penis just didn't sound very appealing. And hanging a towel on my Johnson or inserting my manhood into a handheld pump is so humiliating, I wouldn't use it if I was paid to do it. Seriously, could you imagine the embarrassment if someone walked in and caught you red-handed trying to pump life into a dead erection? So I was back to square one. Then I got an idea. If I discovered how meds like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra functioned, maybe I could reverse engineer the mechanism, but in a safe, natural, more affordable, permanent way. I decided to stop reading all the bullshit articles you see online about ED and shift my focus to scientific journals, research studies, and medical experts. What I discovered was that getting and maintaining an erection is a very simple process. You see, you have a reservoir on each side of your penis, known as the corpora cavernosa. These long, tube-shaped chambers contain inflatable blood vessels. When you become aroused, these blood vessels should relax and dilate, so blood can rush into them, making you rock solid. Unfortunately, three things can obstruct blood flow and kill an erection. The first erection killer is low sex drive or libido. The fact is, if you're not in the mood, it doesn't matter what you do. I could drop a gorgeous, perfectly curved blonde bombshell into your lap naked, and you wouldn't get a hard-on. I know it sounds impossible, but that's how your hormones work. Think of your libido like a water dam. When your body doesn't receive the "I'm aroused" signal, it keeps the floodgates closed. When you do get aroused, it opens those floodgates, causing an erection. The second erection killer is blood flow restriction. Remember those floodgates I told you about a second ago? To make them work, you must have a gate operator on duty. The gate operator is a chemical known as nitric oxide, or NO. This molecule is responsible for relaxing the tensed-up tissue inside your penis, which allows blood to flow. This procedure is what causes you to swell and rise, creating a nice stiff erection. But there's a small problem. As you age, your body naturally reduces production of NO. That means unless you fix the problem now, it's going to continue to get worse with each passing year. I'll reveal a few crucial ways to correct this dilemma in just a minute. But first, we need to address the last problem. The final erection killer is plaque buildup. This is a condition very few men know about or even understand, yet it's crucial for achieving and maintaining a full penetration-ready erection. As we just explained, nitric oxide is the key for relaxing your blood vessels and releasing blood flow. But a special kind of cell called endothelial cells are required to activate your nitric oxide reserves. The trouble occurs when plaque buildups prevent these endothelial cells from doing their job. When that happens, you can't produce nitric oxide and can't get an erection. It doesn't matter how mentally stimulated you are. And this, my friend, is exactly why most men typically don't have great results with standard prescription meds. The problem is, prescription meds typically only cover one reason you might be experiencing ED. As you can see, there are many reasons performance issues show up. And what most men don't realize is that your entire system needs to work together as one cohesive unit for everything to function like clockwork. If just one of these erection systems isn't operating properly, it's game over for you. The problem is, today's most popular prescription meds typically work by increasing blood flow to your genitals to help you get and sustain an erection when you're already sexually aroused or stimulated. And let's not forget the fact that the cheapest you'll find Viagra is around $50 per pill, with prices going all the way up to $75 or more. And that's out-of-pocket money because insurance won't cover it. Plus, as we've already discussed, these can be downright deadly to your health. In fact, in 2000, researchers at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles did an analysis of 1,473 major adverse medical events involving the use of Viagra. Out of those 1,473 adverse circumstances, a remarkable 522 men died within 4 to 5 hours of taking a standard 50 milligram dose of Viagra. That means 35 out of every 100 guys who experienced side effects ended up at the morgue. Unfortunately, that's not all you need to worry about. Since its release in 1998, Viagra has continuously expanded on its warning label, indicating that it may cause blindness, sudden hearing loss, amnesia, and even cancer. In fact, in April of 2014, a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association showed that taking Viagra increases your risk of developing melanoma, one of the deadliest forms of cancer, by a heart-stopping 84%. The question is, if Viagra is so dangerous, why is it still on the market? The answer is simple: money. Viagra is one of the most profitable drugs ever created, bringing in nearly $2 billion. That's billion with a B, every single year. In my opinion, these money-hungry, fat cat drug makers couldn't care less about you, your health, or if your wife is about to walk out the door. All they care about is the money you're putting in their pocket every time you want an erection. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first discovered this crack in the system, I was furious. How dare they put my money above my health? And that's when I had my aha moment. One night, the light bulb in my head went off and told me that if I wanted to fix my sexual problems, I needed to address all 3 potential causes of ED. And since I didn't want to go broke or risk my life doing it, the only option left was figuring out a safe, all-natural solution. So over the next few months, I started testing more non-traditional erection-producing approaches that most men have never heard of. I'm talking about everything from breathing exercises, to off-the-wall foods, to acupuncture, to massages, to herbal tonics and tinctures, and everything in between. In a 6-month period, I spent well over $3,000 out of pocket trying to figure out what worked and what didn't work. Thankfully, during this time, I didn't kill myself, and that I came across several solutions with promising results. In fact, I pieced together the ingredients that work so I was able to get hard for my wife every few weeks, keeping her happy while I kept experimenting. During that time, she finally regained her lost faith in me, and I was confident that eventually, somehow, I would get more consistent results. And that I did. After about 6 months of testing everything I could get my hands on, eliminating the things that didn't work and keeping the things that did, I finally came up with a proven formula that worked consistently. Not only did it work, but it supported all 3 pillars for healthy erections: reviving your libido, stimulating enough blood flow, and removing plaque buildup from the arteries in your penis. After nearly losing my wife, my confidence, and self-esteem, I finally regained my sense of being a man. Looking back, I think my wife took out all her pent-up frustration on me over the next few months because our sex life became like something straight out of a romance novel. I hadn't seen her so hungry for sex since we first got married back in our 20s. Life was good for a while, but what happened next still makes me laugh. Remember my wife's friend Jess, the one Katie was complaining to in the kitchen at the housewarming party? It turns out my wife peeked at my notes and told Jess that not only had I fixed my ED, but that our sex life was the spiciest it had ever been. So Jess ends up asking my wife for my little black book. And a few weeks later, my buddy Rob, Jess's husband, calls me up thanking me profusely. Confused, I asked him to explain what happened. "Ryan, Jess gave me that manual you put together about how to revamp your sex life. I've been having some issues lately, too, that Jess never told your wife about, and we've had the same experience as you guys. But now all I need to get an erection is to see Jess bent over." And then all hell broke loose. All my friends began telling their friends. It almost became a contest between us to see who got the best results from the manual. Each of them confessed to having varying degrees of problems. 2 of them were completely impotent. A few of them were having erections, but only about half as hard as they used to be. And a few others noticed a huge dip in their libido. They were all astonished at how well the system worked for them. That's when they started asking why I wasn't telling more people about it. Until that point, I was only worried about getting my life back on track. To be honest, I wasn't thinking about the millions of other men suffering through the same thing. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the importance of this information. I felt compelled to share my findings with other men because I couldn't stand the thought of knowing the secret to healthy erections and not informing as many men as I possibly could. And that's when I formally created and introduced Defeat ED from Home to the world. Defeat ED from Home is a comprehensive, erection-inducing guide showing you how to reclaim the sexual performance and vigor you had in your younger years. In it, you'll discover everything I learned over the 2-year period I went through to revive not just my sex life, but my marriage and my life. The best part is, when you use this system, you'll never have to worry about dangerous side effects from prescription medications. Perform any weird masculine-killing exercises that make you feel weak and powerless. Spend half your life savings on erection pills that may or may not work. You'll finally be able to feel like a powerful man again. I know exactly how ED makes you feel as it tears apart your feelings of manliness from the inside out, how it sneaks up on you, making before feel empty and hollow inside. I don't want that for you, and I certainly hope you don't want that for yourself. Instead, you'll finally be able to feel like a testosterone-filled man again. Now, you're probably wondering what makes Defeat ED from Home different from other courses out there. Remember just a few minutes ago when I explained the 3 core causes of ED? This is the only course I know of that covers all 3 reasons why most men experience erectile dysfunction. Inside Defeat ED from Home, I'll show you how to conquer all 3 erection killers so you can have the libido of a hormone-crazed 20-year-old again, while retraining your body and mind to give you better erections than you've had in the past 10 years. And of course, I'll show you how to do this safely in as little time as possible, with reliable results you can count on when you need it most. In fact, I'll let you in on every tip, technique, and secret I discovered that's been battle-tested and proven to work. For example, the ED Miracle with a 92.5% success rate. This little-known yet extraordinary ED breakthrough is clinically shown to help 92.5% of men achieve normal erectile function, yet almost nobody knows about it. We'll reveal exactly what it is and how to use it for yourself. The true effect of masturbation. Does it cause ED? How often should you do it? Should you stop completely? Everything is revealed inside. How to get 8 times better results of low T boosters with a potent African herb available on Amazon. The Journal of Urology approved secret that delivers results similar to Viagra. This low-cost miracle helps you achieve and maintain an erection without the harmful side effects and costly expense. Our top 5 must-eat delicious foods that force fresh, engorging blood through your genitals. Think of how sexy she'll feel as you slide in the hardest, biggest erection you've had in the past 5 to 10 years. The do's and don'ts of supplements. Some do nothing, some are dangerous, some can work incredibly well. You'll discover which ones work and which ones don't. Our top secret 5-day erection diet, which works so well you can see results in as little as 48 hours or less, plus easy substitutions in case you have any food allergies. The top 10 breakfast foods you must eat for better quickies. We'll show you exactly what to eat for breakfast so you can get it up at a moment's notice, plus 7 quick and easy recipes you can make on the go. 7 delicious lunches that keep you hard. These 7 midday recipes are delicious, quick to make, and easy on the budget. 7 delightful dinners to get you in the mood. Cook her up a few of these mouth-watering recipes and you won't be able to keep your hands off each other. These recipes work even if you're short on time and can't cook to save your life. Sex smoothies. We've specifically designed these recipes to boost your libido and fill your body with nutrients that cover the 3 main pillars of sexual health. And so much more. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine what your life would be like if the rock solid of your youth returned with a vengeance. You'd no longer slink into the bedroom, embarrassed and humiliated. Rather, you'd strut around like a banty rooster in a chicken coop full of hens. Your significant other will look at you with lustful bedroom eyes, just like when you first started dating. You'll walk around with that deep sense of confidence every man deserves to feel. In fact, I bet you'll go back to those moments when you used to get erections so hard they hurt, simply from watching your spouse or girlfriend bend over to pick something up, or having to tuck your erection into the top part of your jeans when you're out in public. And the best part is, she'll love you for it. Rather than overhear her complaining to her friends about your non-existent sex life, you'll hear her praising her Superman for last night's marathon sex session. How much more of a man would that make you feel like? Imagine how much confidence you'll gain back, knowing you've regained one of the most important aspects of being a man. To know that you've won back your wife or girlfriend and guarantee she'd never even think about cheating on you again. After all, she would have no reason, because you'll give her more sexual pleasure and excitement than she could even imagine right now. This new reality can be yours. All it takes is following my simple formula. So let me ask you something. If I could guarantee you could see a half-naked woman and feel your erection grow to life within seconds, and have the passionate libido of a buck and rut, and watch as you transform into a stallion-like sex god, would you allow money to be an issue? I'm willing to bet my entire life savings on 00 at a Vegas crap table that you'd hand me the PIN number to your bank account if I could make this happen. Some men would rob their child's college fund if they knew they could experience results like what I just described. After all, many men are risking something much more dangerous than losing a few bucks every time they reach for an erection pill to make it through sex. In fact, they're taking their life into their hands. Maybe you've been guilty of this too. Honestly, I don't blame you. Having sexual performance issues is one of the most degrading experiences any man could go through. But is it really worth the added health risk? Not to mention the insane dollar figure they've attached to the most popular ED treatments on the market. According to GoodRx, a site designed to help you save money on pharmaceuticals, the average price to have sex with your wife is a hefty $50 for one pill. It's what I paid, and it's what most men are paying right now. If you think Medicare will help you with some of the cost, think again. In 2016, they dropped over 50-plus medications from their insurance plans. This includes all the popular ED treatments on the market today. Depending on how much you enjoy having sex, at that price you probably have to factor it into the family budget. And that's just not right. Plus, there's simply no comparison to the humiliation of having to pay for sex. It's just weird, and your wife or girlfriend doesn't deserve feeling like you bought her. And if you're considering a testosterone shot because you're friends with a local doctor, think again. Those remedies are even more outrageous. Testosterone treatments can cost upwards of $395 per month for a full treatment and come with significant side effects. And finally, the embarrassment. If your family or friends find out you were taking erection pills, or if word got out that your wife or girlfriend cheated on you because of your flaccid, lifeless penis, can you imagine the humility? Look, I can't stand to let you go through that. In fact, I feel that it's my sole purpose in life to make sure no man ever has to go through this torture again. Because the truth is, you don't have to fork over half your life savings or play Russian roulette with your health. I'm here to tell you that you can finally start feeling like a sex-starved Marine cadet fresh out of boot camp in the bedroom again. The best part? You can get instant access to our entire Defeat ED from Home system today for less than one single blue pill and without the heart-stopping risks. No one ever wants to experience the embarrassment of going to the emergency room with one of those painful 4-hour erections that won't stop. Or worse yet, a fatal blood clot that stops your heart cold. To be certain that you don't make one of those fatal mistakes, I decided to price Defeat ED from home for less than what you'd pay for one night of fun with Viagra. That way, there is no choice. You don't have to shell out $50 a pop for a dangerous pill that might not even work. You can get our entire Defeat ED from home system, something that's completely safe and will actually make you more healthy and can work for years to come for less than one lousy pill. You see, you can access our entire Defeat ED from home system, plus our ironclad 100% money-back guarantee, which I'll explain in a minute, for a tiny one-time payment of just $37. I think that's a fair deal, which is the way this Marine likes it. In fact, I'll sleep better at night knowing you're taken care of. All you have to do to enjoy knock your socks off sex again is to click the button below this video right now. Once you click down on your mouse, you'll be ushered to our 256-bit military-grade encrypted order page. On this page, you can place your order in the most discreet manner possible, so your wife, girlfriend, or anyone else will never find out. You'll be the only person who ever knows. Plus, you'll be able to access your digital purchase almost immediately. That way you can dig into the material and start getting results as fast as possible. And while you're here, I'd like to do another favor for you. You see, getting your unit working again will change your life. However, I want to make you a man that no woman will ever forget. That's why I'd like to include 3 unique bonuses when you order today for unforgettable sex for both you and your partner. These bonuses include: bonus number 1, Casanova Superfoods. Ever hear the saying that food is medicine? It really is. We've discovered certain foods that switch on your libido so you feel like a sex-craved teenager again. And they work for women too. Get your wife or significant other to eat them along with you and enjoy having the most passionate, erotic lovemaking you've had in years. Inside you'll discover the sex vitamin, which boosts blood flow to your penis in minutes, yet 90% of Americans are deficient in. The top 9 delicious pleasure-enhancing foods found in your local supermarket that expand the pleasure centers in your brain for amazing, unforgettable sex. The delicious seafood men are told to avoid when traveling because of its powerful effect on libido. And no, it's not oysters. The strange, beautiful red fruit that's been shown to decrease plaque in blood vessels by 30%, while boosting testosterone by a whopping 22%. The delicious nuts you can sprinkle on your salad to improve blood flow to your genitals and support healthy testosterone levels. The crunchy green vegetable that releases pheromones, making you magnetically irresistible to your significant other, and she won't even know why. Bonus number 2, the Sexting Blueprint. Once you get your manhood back in working order, it's time to sprinkle on some spice. With this never-before-released step-by-step guide, you'll be able to get your significant other hot and bothered. Imagine wrapping up a long, stress-filled day at work, then sending a couple of specific texts we've designed to bypass the pleasure center of a woman's brain and flood it with sex hormones. That way you'll walk through the front door with your girl on the prowl. She'll find you completely irresistible. The best part is, these text messages are completely plug-and-play and don't make you sound weird or corny. Inside you'll discover my proven 3-step system for using nothing but text to switch on the arousal center of her brain. The biggest mistake 99% of guys make when trying to get their significant other in the mood. The number 1 part of a woman's body you must master to make her irresistibly aroused at the touch of a hat. Hint, it's not her genitals. The exact plug-and-play text you can send in the morning, afternoon, and late afternoon to have her pounce on you as you walk through the door. And the final piece of the puzzle to becoming unforgettable in bed is being able to last longer. That's why we've put together bonus number 3, how to outlast men half your age. Would you agree women love a man who can last a long time between the sheets? Of course you do. So if you're the kind of guy who wants to rock your woman's world, then this is the guide for you. I figured out several under-the-radar lovemaking techniques that will give you more staying power than a highly paid gigolo. Try these out a few times and watch as your woman's libido skyrockets, like when you were newlyweds and she had stars in her eyes. Inside this free downloadable PDF, you'll discover the number 1 can't-fail rule for outlasting her in bed, so she orgasms before you do every time. The 3-minute sex muscle exercise that gives you longer, steadier erections and helps you go longer. 6 ways to warm her up so she has a near-guaranteed orgasm every time you have sex. The crucial keys to using speed to your advantage. How to know when to switch positions and what positions to get into for maximum staying power. The little-known squeeze secret that adds several minutes to your longevity the very first time you try it. Remember, when you order today, you'll be receiving the full Defeat ED from Home course, the Casanova Superfoods bonus, the Sexting Blueprint bonus, the How to Outlast Men Half Your Age bonus, all for just $37. Imagine the look on her face when just a few days from now you walk into the room with an erection that would make a muscled-up jock green with envy. Then you give her the hardest, longest, leg-shaking orgasm she's ever had, before you even penetrate her. Then you're able to go so long that she has at least 1 to 2 more orgasms during sex. She'll think she's died and gone to heaven. You'll no longer have to worry about infrequent sex because you two will be going at it all the time. In fact, she'll be the one trying to turn you on. Plus, I want you to feel confident that your investment today is 100% guaranteed. Look, the only thing I want for you is to get your manhood back so you can enjoy a vibrant, playful sex life again. I want you to hear about the look on your wife's face when you walk in the room with an erection so big and hard, she'd think you'd somehow filled it with steel. In fact, I'm so confident Defeat ED from Home will help you regain your manhood that I'd like to give you a 60-day test drive to make sure it works for you. Simply click the button below this video now. Take the next 60 days to put our system to the test and experience incredible results. If, for any reason whatsoever, you feel the product isn't right for you, simply shoot us an email at any time in the next 60 days and we'll refund your money quickly with no questions asked. Now remember, all you have to do is click the button you see below this video now. That will take you to our secure order form page where you can place your order for instant digital access. And remember, we've even made it so that your credit card won't give away that you invested in this course. I'll give you a second to do that now. Okay, so now that we're back, can I be honest with you for a second? If you're still watching this video and haven't clicked to order yet, it means you're on the fence and haven't experienced enough pain and embarrassment to spur you into action. Plus, you're probably still a bit anxious and even a bit skeptical. I want you to know that's completely normal. It means you're staring at a crossroads in life and each path is representing 2 very different outcomes. The first option, I'm sorry to say, doesn't finish with a happy ending. You're going to keep staring down at a limp, lifeless disappointment that just keeps spiraling out of control every time you want to make love. Hopefully, you'll be able to find some relief before you find yourself too far down this dangerous rabbit hole. From one man to another, we both know you can only take so much when it comes to living with a flaccid penis. You're only going to be able to see that sad look in your partner's face so many times before it breaks you down. I don't care how strong you think you are. Plus, it's not fair to her to suffer from your lack of performance. Women need sexual interaction just as much as us men. And if your current ED is driving a wedge into you and her trust in your ability to perform, she'll unconsciously start looking for an outlet. In many cases, this happens sooner than later, as you probably already know. So unless you want to walk around feeling like you've been castrated and your manhood removed, your only viable option is path number 2. This is the path where you start shifting things in a positive direction. It's where you repair and regain the use of one of your most prized possessions. After all, what good is a man if he can't have sex when presented with the opportunity? Stop and think about that for a moment. A few days from now, you can go from slithering into bed to trotting through the door and growing a raging boner just from glancing at her in a pair of black stockings. It'll be just like how you felt as a young teenager when you found yourself looking at your first issue of Playboy. Isn't that how you want to start performing again? So it just works without thinking about it? This new reality that can be yours if you wisely choose the second path and stop putting your health at risk. Once you select this option, you can throw away those arousal pills, cancel that appointment with your doctor, and wake up blessed knowing you're not injecting yourself with a fake steroid, all in the name of getting an erection. At the end of the day, all those treatments and so-called cures are simply not worth it. Go start changing you and your partner's frown into a smile. Click the button below this video. I promise and guarantee that Defeat ED from Home will be the right ingredient you've been looking for to regain your sexual prowess. Plus, it's the only virtually risk-free alternative for helping you enjoy rock-solid, long-lasting erections, along with a revitalized sex drive all at the same time. It's the one thing that your partner lays awake at night hoping and praying you find, and soon. So over the past 30 minutes or so I've shown you why your lack or pleura-enhanced erections is not your fault, how it's possible to reverse this disturbing condition without using dangerous prescription drugs, why you must take this pressing matter stone-cold serious right now or you risk your partner filling your needs elsewhere, what triggered your ED in the first place, that if you don't fix this condition, your life can quickly slip into a depression. Plus, I've shown you a genuine, safe way to heal and reverse your lack of performance and turn yourself into the stud you once were. If you're ready to stop suffering and hiding your face in shame, the smartest decision you can make today is to shut the door. Invest in Defeat ED from Home today for the tiny price of just $37. That's peanuts when it comes to being able to get rid of all your agony and put an ear-to-ear smile back to your wife's face. I also want to remind you that your purchase is 100% guaranteed. So if for any reason you're not happy with all the information we've packed inside, you can simply get your entire purchase price back, no questions asked. In fact, if in the next 60 days you don't see a complete transformation in your sex life, your lovemaking, your erections, and your overall satisfaction in the bedroom, I insist you return it for a full refund. So do you and your partner a favor. Click the button showing below this video right now. I promise this will be one of the most important decisions you've made in the past 6 months. So go ahead and mouse to the button below and click it now. And I'll see you on the inside. Start fixing your erection problems today for less than a single blue pill. Right now, you're about to access to our entire Defeat ED from Home system, which includes the Defeat ED from Home main course. Bonus number 1, Casanova Superfoods. Bonus number 2, the Sexting Blueprint. Bonus number 3, How to Outlast Men Half Your Age. 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. All this can be yours right now by clicking the button below, Add to Cart button. FAQs. Question: Is this safe? Will your recommendations interfere with my current medication? Answer: I'm not a doctor, so I recommend you first consult with your physician. Simply ask your doctor if the list of natural solutions I've provided with will cause any conflict with your prescription medication. So far, our clients haven't reported any problems, but if we do hear something, I'll be sure to keep you in the loop. Question: I'm a bit embarrassed about someone finding this purchase on my credit statement, especially my partner. Is there a way to make this purchase discreet? Answer: You have nothing to worry about. We have gone out of our way to make sure there's no reference to your purchase. All you'll see on your credit card statement is CLKBank*com. We know how sensitive this is. Question: How do I know this will work for me? Answer: The fact is, every male body works the same way. If you're having sexual problems now, it's because one of the 3 cases we discussed in the video aren't working properly. Defeat ED from Home shows you how to naturally and safely fix all 3 problems. And it does so in a way that makes you healthier overall, so you'll enjoy many other bonus health benefits. Question: How do I access the product after I order? Answer: Everything is a digital PDF, which means you get instant access to the entire system immediately after ordering. You can download it to your computer, laptop, or tablet and go through it at your leisure. We'll send you membership login details via email. Question: All of this sounds great. What kind of results can I expect? Answer: As I mentioned throughout the presentation, I'll be showing you what's causing your ED problem and how to fix it. Now, I can't give you an exact day when your body will flip the switch and turn your limp penis into a steel rod, but what I can guarantee is that if you follow what I've laid out you will be able to start having sex again. Plus, you're 100% protected by our 60-day money-back guarantee. So you either start having solid pleasure-enhanced erections on a consistent basis, or I give you every cent of your purchase back, no questions asked.